My name is Henk van der Zwan. I'm Dutch ambassador here in Canada. My father was born in 1927, so he was 13 years old when the war broke out. I remember him telling me stories that in 1943, 1944, occupying forces were looking for laborers to enlist them and to go to work in Germany. Now, he was trying to avoid that, of course, so he went into hiding in an area which is called the Westland, close to Delft and Rotterdam, where you have a lot of agricultural, horticultural companies. So he was in hiding there, and at the end of 1944, he managed to escape to the southern part of the Netherlands, which had already been liberated by the Canadians. He managed to go to England, and he did his military training there, and subsequently, joined the armed forces. My mother, on the other hand, she lived in the northern part in Friesland. She was a bit younger, but she told me stories about the liberation of the city where she was living, Leeuwarden. And the city was liberated by the Royal Canadian Dragoons when they came in from the city, which is more to the east, from Groningen. And she told me stories, standing at the roadside, cheering the Canadians and getting, for the first time in her life, chewing gum and chocolates from the Canadian liberators. What we have in the Netherlands now, the wealth, the prosperity, the freedom that we enjoy, the respect for human rights, the civil liberties, we would never have had that had it not been for the liberation 75 years ago. So this is at the basis, actually, at the basis of everything we take for granted nowadays, but actually one should never take this for granted. Wherever I go as Dutch ambassador, there's always someone that has a story about his father, his uncle, his grandfather, having fought in the war in the Netherlands, having liberated the Netherlands, and then you have the stories coming up of the way they were being welcomed and the festivities that they participated in, etc. So that is really extremely moving. It's a moment to reflect on freedom. It's a moment to reflect on the sacrifices that were made by other people to ensure our freedom. And I think that is extremely important. This is something we should never forget. More than 7,600 Canadians are buried in the Netherlands. And every year on the 4th of May, we have these commemorations. And what is so extremely poignant is that it's not the older generation, it's the youngsters. It's school classes, that lovingly care for the graves, put flowers, put candles there. As our country was run over by the Nazis in May 1940, the royal family had to flee the country. Queen Juliana, she was a princess at the time, she was our crown princess, was hosted by Canada for 5 years, 1940-1945, here in the city of Ottawa. And during their stay here in January 1943, another royal princess was born, Princess Margriet. So she is a Canadian princess. And that, of course, also creates a special bond between the Netherlands royal family, and Canada.